So last time I made a video on 12 piston extender, and the title was infinite, but it wasn't really infinite. I said it can be expanded, and also the design was kinda slow, so today I also made it faster. So let's test it out. So okay, here it is. Completely functions really well, and push this. So let's now talk about the 25 piston extender and how it functions. So the 25 piston extender is kinda, I'll explain you. When I pull this, okay, so it should start now. The best thing about these is they are really compact. Like the first half is little bulky, but the remaining half part is just observer and repeater and piston. That's it. So you can see how fast it just stacked up all the pistons. It just goes on stacking like really fast. So let's now talk about how they function. How it functions is basically when I power this lever off, the signal signal to this piston powers off, and piston retracts a block. Meanwhile, this clock is sending signals to this repeater, which will update this block constantly, and this will create a monostable circuit which will send a short one tick pulse into these repeaters over here. And well, I'll just show you guys. When I see it starts sending a short pulse. Oh, I forgot to reset this. So I'll show you guys. First you have to reset this thing, like pull this lever and push it back down, and now when you unpower this, you see this has started working, and basically, as you can see, when the signal travels, it not only updates the observers but also updates this observer, sending a signal over here and into the dropper over here, which will fire the item into this barrel, and the comparator will send a signal accordingly. With every increase in item, there is an increase in signal, and that's how it locks all the pistons one by one. So it's that simple. And now let's talk about 25 piston extender. So the only difference between this is during extension it uses a clock, because the push limit is of 12 blocks, and the other difference is it has two modules, because one comparator can only send a signal up to 15 blocks, after that the power of the signal drops. So to uh, to overcome that, we have two modules, and this connection actually is not needed. It's just so that you don't have to do much work. So basically I'll show you. When I pull this, that side also works the same. So both sides are being reset at once, and then in this design, basically when the power turns off, the signal goes similarly. The process over here is similar, like a monostable circuit, a signal will be sent, and similarly the signal will be sent up to there, that point, up to here, and meanwhile there is one observer right here. This observer, when the signal passes below it, it will give an update which will travel into this repeater, get delayed for 20 ticks, that is equal to the 20 pistons, and that is equal to the time 20 pistons will take signal will take to reach the last piston. At that time the signal will be sent over here into this dropper, and that dropper will shoot it into this barrel, and the comparator will give an output respectively. And after some time, when the comparator reaches its signal limit, the maximum signal limit, this repeater will get power, the one below the observer. And when that happens, the observer will give an output into this block and trigger this repeater. And what it will do is, when it will trigger this repeater, this piston, instead of these 20 ticks, this signal will start traveling into this repeater and into this redstone dust, and it will start powering the next module. And when the next module starts powering, it basically continues the locking process. So it's actually really simple. I'll show you right now. So let's do this. Okay, so I'll show you guys right now. Let's retract this, and when I power off, you can see as soon as I power off, this circuit will begin firing, and as soon as that happens, signal is also traveling up, locking these repeaters just like in the previous design. But when the locking reaches up to this part, you can see this repeater is being powered, but the power is not being transferred up to here. So when the repeater below this observer facing downwards get powered, you see this piston fired like this, and now the signal is entering into this block, into this dust, and continuing the locking process. It was so fast that I didn't even get time to explain it while it works. So it's really fast actually for 25 piston extender. Now let's look at the extension process. Here I pull this, and I turn on the clock, and you see the clock slowly pushes them to the maximum limit where the 25 pistons can get, and then you just close this and push the turn on that lever, and it will extend it to completely. Now I'll be making this completely automatic. That means you don't have to do resetting and then this clock thing manually and then this thing manually. I'll be doing it, but it will kinda bulk up the system a little bit. But the best thing about this system is that the first half is bulky, somewhat bulky, not really bulky, and the rest half is like super compact. Similarly, over here in the 25 pistons, the first 25 blocks distance is bulky, and the next 25 block distance is like super compact. I mean, this is not how most huge piston extenders look like. They look like really huge, and the ones that are compact, I have only seen them in Java edition, and they work basically on block splitting, but Bedrock doesn't have block splitting, so I had to do something like I had to find out some new way. So that's it for today.